People often ask me, what kind of yoga do you teach? And I understand that because, of course, in the modern landscape, there's so many different styles and approaches to yoga. But essentially, what I feel like I teach is generous yoga. Yoga which is accessible, yoga which is particularly pitched, I would say, at women in their sort of 40s to 60s and beyond. Yoga that is reflective and spacious, generous, yoga which has generosity to it. I was trained in a form of Hatha yoga. It's called the Gita system of Hatha yoga. It's a beautifully accessible style. And I suppose after teaching for sort of close to 25 years or so, then you can't help but take what you were trained with and then slowly, all of the different yogas that you're exposed to, you start to just absorb bits from all of the different approaches that you find really useful, and you meld it into what feels like your main training or your main strength or your main approach to teaching yoga. So, of course, I work with physical poses, postures. It tends not to be fast or flowing. I wouldn't say that it's one of the athletic styles of yoga that you often see in a lot of the modern day yoga studios. A class would generally start with some warm-ups, some stretching, some limbering, just easing the body this way and that to get us a little warm and fluid. And then we'd move into a series of postures, which we tend to move into and hold for a period of time. They're often not overly strong, although that's relative, isn't it? If our body is being really challenged, then sometimes even something very, very gentle can feel strong for us. But for the average person with sort of, average strength, average flexibility, most of the poses I think are quite accessible for the majority. And of course, we have freedom. Within those poses that we hold, we have our own choice in terms of, do we hold it this far? Or that far, or a little bit further, or further again. So there's this choice that we can exercise for ourselves in terms of, where do we take this? How do we take this? And how do I feel, not only in general, how do I feel today, right now, in this moment, to take this pose or approach this pose? And then from there, within that, we get reflective. Okay, we've fine-tuned the body. We've got, say, a spine twist, for instance. Where are we going with that? Well, we're thinking about our spine, our torso, our breath. We're looking at possible areas that are impacted. Has our jaw clenched and tightened in response to the twist of the spine? And then from there, we're starting to look into the structure of the spine, not just its physicality in giving us uprightness. We want strength and flexibility from that part of the body. But what does it stand for? The spine often represents our backbone, our energetic backbone. So how strong are we in life? Do we feel aligned? Are we ready to take a stand and live by our values and really feel that we can draw upon the resilience that that part energetically offers us? So there's all of these layers that we bring into play while we're moving through this accessible, generous style of yoga. So hopefully that just gives you a little more of the sense of flavour that I bring to the teaching. For those people that want a really strong, dynamic, fast-flowing practice, what I teach will not be for you. But if you like something that goes at a little bit slower pace, that brings in physicality of yoga, a mindful, a meditative approach while we're in a pose, the capacity to regulate our breathing, and the capacity to really touch upon the symbolism within our body. And, it's practical, but those layers, those different aspects of our being, to kind of harness it all together into something aligned and strong and alive that we then bring forward into life. I like to think that yoga is the playground or the training ground, and it's where we connect and align and observe, and then we bring all of that forward into our families, our work, our community, all of the interactions that we have. Multifaceted, accessible, generous yoga. That is my approach. All right, lovely people, take care, and I will see you somewhere down the track. Bye now.